She been through the fire, now she feed that flame. Laugh through the pain, but she still got game. Everyday life with a twist and a grin. Tears, true jokes, but he'll begin. She break it down real, never play pretend. Take heed to the messages, lessons through the lens. Came from the soul, she built from the stars. Turned all them L's and twist bars. Ain't here to preach, just here to relate. She done fell in the traps, now she shifting the fate. Every slip was set up for her. Next prize, not your poor truth with a joke on the side. No guilt, no love, just soul in the mix. Every story got a gem, every back got a fix. She where you at from hard right to hustle. From crying in the dark to finding the muscle. So if you watch it, open your ears, cause the realest lessons come wrapped in them tears. Take heed to the lessons, you gon' feel this vibe. Real talk, no cut, just the truth and life. She been through the fire, now she see that flame. Laugh through the pain, but she still got game. Everyday life with a twist and a grin. Tears, true jokes, where the hill begin. She break it down real, never play pretend. Take heed to the lessons, lessons through the lens. She said how it is, no shoot, no mask. My ghost, you and love, but it's all on the last. It's like I'm with a side to grace. She a voice in your ear when the world's in your face. So laugh if you want, cry if you need. But one thing for sure, you gon' take heed. Cause she been through the mess, now she blessed in the crowd. With truth in the chest, and the head still proud.
Shout out to Corey Joe, 1000 Watts Radio, baby. Good morning. It's raining over here in Jersey. You hear me? It's raining over here in Jersey, baby. So we got some foolery to talk about this morning. Y'all, I'm still not wearing makeup, okay? Just natural face because y'all know I told y'all that eczema is still igniting. Hopefully it calms down soon, but I'm wearing my natural face, okay? So I got a sister in my comment section, I think it was yesterday, and she said, sis, I'm trying to show you love, and I appreciate that. She said, but I think you need to check your health because, you got the dark spots around your eyelid. And I put in the comment section, I said, sis, thank you so much for the love. I said, I appreciate it. I said, but I inherited this. Like it's an inheritance, you know what I'm saying? From my father's side of the family. So all the women and my father too. Okay, my grandmother, all of them have, like, you know what I'm saying? I had this since I was a baby. So all this, the darkness around the eyes, that's just, I guess in our family, you could just point out that child belonged to us. You know what I'm saying? So it's not anything. Now, am I self-conscious about it? I am sometimes because I try to put like makeup to highlight it a little bit, like to make it light a little bit, but this is my natural face, baby. Okay. So thank you for, letting me know. And you was like, yeah, health reasons. I'm going to share something with you. Take heed, go to the doctor. Take heed goes to the doctor. She takes her family to the doctor. Just because I don't post it and I be like, I don't post and I don't tell people my location. Take Heed does a lot of stuff, but I just don't post it on social media. Why y'all need to know I'm going to the doctor? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Long as I don't faint on social media. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I go to the doctor, and I take my family along with me, even when they don't want to. Okay? So let's get into the foolery this morning. If you don't know who I am, okay, my show is called Take Heed to the Message with Abang Anwa. It just means queen, okay? We're going to get into some foolery this morning. To all my people that's in the chat, I appreciate y'all for coming because you could have been anywhere else, but you said, let me see what this loudmouth heifer is talking about. And I appreciate y'all for that. You feel me? Please hit the like and subscribe button for the newcomers. Okay. And also, if you didn't hit that like button yet, do so, baby. Do so. I appreciate you. You feel me? Okay. Do so. So now, let's get into the nonsense. The title of this foolery is What Benefits Does a Man Gain Being a Stepfather? Okay. Also, we're going to talk about the South Africans running from their home. Okay. Running from their home. Running from their home to be refugees. The white South Africans are running from their home to be refugees. And y'all won't believe what the South African government was just asking y'all. You wouldn't believe it, okay? So all the government was asking was for them to give up the part of the land that they're not using, so that the government can use it. You know how sometimes our government, if they want to take over something, what they do? They snatch it up. They'll snatch it up. They'll notify you. They'll tell you, I'm snatching it up. You know what I'm saying? They also, sometimes you'll get someone to compensate you. Okay? Sometimes they'll compensate you. But that's all that's happening. It's not a war going on in South Africa. Now, we're going to say alleged, because I don't live in South Africa. I don't know. I'm American, so I don't know what's really going on here. But what the news is saying is that the government just wants to take some of the land in the white part, okay, of South Africa and build on it. But they don't want to take the part where they already built houses, where they got farmland. They don't want none of that. They just want the part where the land is just there and nobody is using it. Okay? I'm just saying. Renee, thank you so much, baby. I ain't going to be able to say that word correctly. Thank you so much. I'm looking at it. I know what it is. But I can't. I'm going to mess it up. But thank you so much, Renee. So now, and good morning to you too, Renee. So this is, South Africa is wilding out. I'm going to share something with you. White South Africans, you don't know what y'all just walked into. You don't know what y'all just walked into. You know how on the weekends you get to enjoy time with your family, you ain't working? That's going to change. Okay? You know how when you have time that your wife is able to be home and only you going out to the farm or you going out to the market or you going to your regular business or something like that, that will not be no more. She'll have to work. If you don't make good money here in the U.S., she's going to have to work. No one will be home with those children. You'll have to find them a daycare center or something like that. Okay? And you got to remember, y'all have never been around American people. Okay? I'm just saying. Be mindful what you're doing. If your nation is not war torn, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all ain't going through nothing like war and all that stuff. Y'all ain't going through nothing like that. Okay, I would not come here. That'd be the last thing that I would have done. Okay, that'd been the last thing that I would have done. This would not be it. You hear me? You coming from a land that you own outright. Property that you own outright. Okay, you don't pay no taxes, none of that stuff. Once you buy the land, it's yours, and you coming over here to us, where even when Takey and her husband finish paying off this house, right? We don't own the land. We don't own the land. That's the difference. We still have to pay taxes on the land. I'm just saying. We still have to pay taxes on the land. And so y'all want to come here. where you could go, hey Malik, Malik, how are you, honey? You could go right outside to your backyard and pick fresh fruit. You know why I take heed to saying this? Because this is what Nigeria looks like, okay? So I already know, okay? You can go in your backyard. You can plant anything you want on your property. Go in your backyard and just pull fruit from the tree because everything grows in Africa. I don't care where you at. Everything grows in Africa. All you got to do is go in your backyard and pull stuff off the tree and start eating it. Just wash it and start eating it. And you want to come where? Where you want to come? I'm just saying. You want to go where? Where you want to come? You want to come here. You want to come here where you going to pay taxes, okay? You're going to continue to pay taxes. Even when the house is yours, you're going to continue to pay taxes. And if you don't pay them taxes, what happened, y'all? What happened? The state coming to get that house. The state coming to get that house, baby. Yes, the state coming to get that house. That's nasty, right? That's nasty. That's nasty. The state coming to get that house. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you, baby? The state is coming to get that house. They don't play no games, okay? Once you behind, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, baby, fourth quarter come. They just wait. They wait till the houses get enough taxes on it. They wait till the county comes. Thank you, 18. They wait till the house get enough taxes on it, and then they come get the house. They come get the house. That's it. That's it. God forbid, let me not find this in my future. But I'm telling you, and you want to come here. Now, a lot of people is upset with Trump. They upset with Trump. A lot of people are upset saying that this is racism and this and that. And Trump said this is not racism. This is not racism. Now I want to share something with y'all. Okay? I want to share something with y'all. Trump has done the South African president a favor. I don't know if y'all see it. I know we got to look at racism right away. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's how you got to look at it, right? But y'all don't know how Trump did the president of South Africa a favor. You don't know how. Because in the statement, the South African president asked, all he wanted from the white South Africans was land that was not occupied. That's what he said. He said he was only going to take land that was not occupied. So if you left that big, beautiful house down there in South Africa and you took all your belongings and you left, okay, to come to America, don't you know that now the president can take over the land that you inherited, that you bought? Now he can take it over because he said anybody who is not occupying the land. So now y'all have made it easy for the South African president to take over the land. You see how that, y'all, something wrong with y'all. Something wrong with y'all. He didn't say he wanted y'all to get up and leave South Africa. He said any land that was not occupied, he wanted to use it. But y'all got in there and was like, no. We feel threatened. They're threatening us, this and that. Okay, so now you're coming here. Do you know America is a beast? Do you hear me? America is nothing to, it's not a cakewalk. It's not a cakewalk. It's not. I commend those who come here and you don't know nothing about America, only videos, movies you have seen. I commend those who are strong enough to come here to a whole nother world. You have never seen this. You have never seen nothing like this. You came to a whole nother world. You don't know nothing about the train. You don't know nothing about, all this other stuff. New York is a beast by itself. You know what I'm saying? New York is a beast by himself. And so you just said, nah, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the best I can. Okay. People, listen, one thing you brave, all of y'all is brave. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay? All of y'all is brave. Okay? Not even, I'm not saying y'all don't know nothing about a train. I don't want to say that because they have all these things. South Africa is beautiful. But you want to come over here where the train is in the tunnel and they got crazy people walking around and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like even us who live here gotta make sure we hold that purse tight. Put that purse around your neck. Make sure your hand is in the front like you leaning like you know it's good. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gonna come here. You want to come here. Oh my God. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Listen to me. I love my nation. I love my nation. You hear me? I love my nation. I would never want it to be born anywhere else. But if I was able to be born in this part of Africa, because South Africa is beautiful. I don't know if y'all ever been. But this part of the world, and then you want to come to the beast where the apartments are so small, okay? And if you get over an oversized apartment, your rent is about $2,000 to $3,000 a month, okay? You actually buying a house. All the much you're paying for a $2,000 to $3,000 bedroom, and it's like a box truck, okay? That's actually mortgage for a house in 2019. That was the mortgage back then. It's more crazy now. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay. Renee said they're taking them to the Midwest. Let's hope it work out for them. Let's hope it work out for them. Let's hope it work out for them because I'm going to share something with you. Once people find out, now, you're gonna really experience some racism. Once people find out you are African, let's say it again. Once people find out you are an Africana, okay? You see how they clown Elon Musk. Once they find out you are an Africana, okay? Baby, these people gonna be calling you all types of names. They don't care what color you are. They're gonna be calling you all types of names. You have not experienced racism. You have not. You have not experienced racism yet, okay? But because the president said, I'm telling you, Melissa, I'm telling you. Because the president said, some of the land that y'all not using that is not occupied, okay? Y'all mad about that. Why he want to use some of the land in here that's not occupied? The first thing that y'all government messed up on is y'all split South Africa. You put the whites over here and the blacks over here. That was dumb. That's the first thing that y'all did that was stupid. Okay, that's the first thing that y'all did that was stupid. Okay, because all of y'all is South Africans. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that y'all did that y'all messed up. Okay, because if something bad happened, y'all all got to fight together. Like right now, if some shit happened in America, okay, if some shit happened to us right now, I'm talking about every color of the rainbow. Okay, we all gonna get in here and fight. We all ain't gonna be nobody. Oh, I'm worried about you black. I'm worried about you being white. It ain't gonna be that. We all gonna be in here fighting. If somebody come over here and want to wreck shop up in here in America, all of us gonna get out here fighting. I don't care what color you are. We gonna be out here fighting. We gonna be out here fighting. Because that's only time when America decide that they want to start loving each other. Only time when America want to learn, not even learn, but want to get out here because, you know, let me say it again. Only time we come together is when some other so-and-so trying to come at us. Now we ready to no, we going to put our differences aside. Let's get out here and fight. Now, why can't that be every day? Why can't that be every day that we just put our differences aside and say, nah, F what you heard. You know, we all together in this mess. Because the truth be told, we all Americans at the end of the day, no matter what color you are, race or creed. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because you know how I say that we can actually do this? You know how I know that we can actually do this as Americans? And Renee put it in there. Renee put it in there. 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I didn't see no colors. We was all ready to go to war. I ain't see no colors. We was angry and we wanted to only show love to us. Nobody came to save us. Nobody came to help us. We rebuild together. That's the only time I have seen us say, F what you heard. Let's get out here and shop in this BITCH. That's the only time I saw us together. So that means that it can be accomplished. That means us working together can be accomplished. Now that's right too. The California fires too. That's true too. You're right about that. When something horrible happens to us, Americans, I'm talking about us as a whole, we all come in and join together. That's the thing. That is the thing. So this is how South Africa messed up, because if somebody came and invaded the country there, God forbid, okay? They worried about the black and the white, and y'all all South Africans. You all South Africans, you supposed to fight together no matter what color you are. So that's why I said that this is dumb. That's why I said this dumb. And you decided to come over here. You wanted to come over here. I give you about a year. I give you about a year. Okay? I give you about a year. Let's see how that work out. Because when you try to go back home, and just because of what the president said, y'all president said, okay? Y'all president in South Africa, he said he only wanted to take the land that was not occupied. So now that y'all leaving, the land is what? What is the land now? What is the land? It's not occupied. So when Trump get in here and say, it's not a black and white thing, this and that, I'm going to share something with you. Okay? I'm going to share something with you. He said, this is not a black and white thing. This ain't no black and white thing. This look like a business deal. Okay? I know some of y'all, because we want to read into it like that. No, this is a black and white thing. To me, this looked like an opportunity for the president to go in here, the South African president to go in here and demolish everything on the land. That's what it looked like to me. He gonna have businesses and everything in here. It's gonna be some money moves and everything. And y'all have lost your land. This is stupid. This is stupid. Anybody would have thought of this. This is stupid. Y'all crazy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And you know what? A lot of people, you look at it, this look racist. Oh no, he didn't ask for the black South Africans to come over here. He only asked for the white South Africans to come over here, right? Okay. But the land that the government needs in South Africa to build stuff on, it's the white land. It's the white land that y'all so-called separated. This is a business deal. This is crazy. This right here gonna be a problem. Your property that you paid money for, that you inherited this, you no longer have it, because he said the president said, I only want to touch the land that is not occupied. Anybody else who you're living there, you know what I'm saying? You're farming there, I'm not gonna touch it. And at first, when I heard this, and I was talking to my husband, I said, honey, do you think, you know what I'm saying? And he said, I want you to look at this real good. Look at this real good. He said to me, he said, this is my point of view because I don't believe in all that racist stuff like how, y'all be saying in here. So I'm looking at it like this. Trump only asks for the Caucasian people, the Caucasian South Africans, the white South Africans to come to America. He didn't ask for the black South Africans to come to America. Mind you, they have some beautiful parts where black South Africans live too. They have a rich part in South Africa too, where black South Africans live. Okay. Beautiful property is amazing, y'all. Okay. So all these stories that we usually see about Africa, it be half truth. Okay. Some people live in mansions that, you know what, you would not even believe. It's crazy like that. And I listen, I'm going to share something with you. Me being married to an African man, I have seen stuff that have just amazed my eyes. Do you hear me? So this is the thing. Can you look at this? Look at this from a business point of view. Look at this from a business point of view. I'm not saying this happened. But look at this as a business point of view. Do you know what's under the land in the white South African part? Do you know? Could it be something under the land that they may need to be bringing out of the land? I'm just saying, okay? Could it be something where behind scenes, okay, some shit could have happened? We're going to say allegedly, with some business talks got in here, and then all of a sudden, a president of the United States come out and say, all the white South Africans come to America. You have safety in America. Mind you, there's no war. There's no war in South Africa, okay? There's nothing going on over there. We're going to say alleged. There's nothing going on over there right now. Do you hear me? We're going to say alleged, okay? But you have other nations that are war torn that we actually need to help these people, okay? But South Africa is not war torn. You should see these people coming in. Man, they look like nothing was wrong with these people. Nothing was wrong with these people. They didn't look downtrodden or anything. I'm just saying, nothing looked wrong with these people. And so now you brought all these people, they done put in their applications that went through a 3-month process. That does not usually do so. They don't usually get on the land that fast if they are a refugee. It takes time, okay? But their stuff was expedited 3 months. Something's going on. What did I tell y'all about America? You hear me? What did I tell y'all about America? How many times have we talked about this? I said America is a big titty B, okay? Big titty B. Blonde hair, cowboy hat on, with a cigar in one hand and a 40 in another, okay? A 40 in another, okay? Mini skirt on with cowboy boots, and she driving on 20s. How many times have I told y'all? And she got an EBT card in one breast, $1,000 in another. And when she get on the land, she do this. This is what she do. We here to liberate the people. We here to liberate the people. The people need liberation. Okay? Liberation. The people need liberation. Anytime America move into something, I kid you not, I don't care who the president is. Anytime America move into something, something is going on in that land. There's something in that land that she can benefit from. That's the only time she move. It's something in that land that she can get. That's the only time. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my country. I love my nation, okay? I'm just saying I know the shit that she does. I know my nation, okay? And I love my nation. I'm happy, okay? But we do some stuff that ain't right. Okay? We do some things that ain't right. But I'm just saying this is what it looks like. They go and get all these white South Africans out of this place. Okay? Now all these people leave. Okay? What happened? The government said if it's nobody there, he just wanted unoccupied. Okay? He said if it's unoccupied, then yes, I need to use the land. But now, at the time, it was occupied, right? Okay. So now y'all have left your home. What that means is unoccupied. He gets to demolish all the houses. He gets to tear down all the property that you built there. And what he get to do? Sell the land off to any company. Sell the land off to any company. And when you come back home, the house is gone. Everything is gone. All your property is gone. Everything. He get to make a big killing off the sale of that land. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It's not like he said, oh, he want to come in and take everything. He said, I just want to take the part that y'all not using. You understand? Oh, Melissa, you know they got farmland all around Africa. Baby, you could go outside your door and grow something. That's how bad it is. Africa can make any type of, I don't care where you put the food at. I don't care, not food, I'm sorry. I don't care where you put a plant at in Africa. Okay? In the city. Okay? Even in the city. Okay? I don't care where you put a plant at in the city. That thing gonna grow like a mighty tree. You hear me? You have to be careful what you put in the ground in Africa. I told y'all, Africa is Eden. You hear me? Africa is Eden. Do you hear me? Come on now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Good morning, Red Lipstick Vibe. How are you, my sister? It's good to see you. Guys, please make sure you tune in to Red Lipstick Vibe, where the content is always the truth and educational and fire, baby. You understand? So that's the uncomfortable truth. If I was them, I would not, let me share something with you. I'd have came here. You wouldn't have got me here. I'd have stayed right there on my land. The South Africans and the Black Africans, they lived in harmony for God knows how long. They lived in harmony for God knows how long. Nobody is coming here to hurt these people. They are not being threatened and none of that stuff. The president only asked for them to give up land that was unoccupied. That's it. That's it. This is stupid. Y'all crazy. And you coming over here now? You gonna regret this. You gonna regret this. Don't you know some African Americans, right? If you go to Africa in the correct way, okay, because there's a wrong way to do something, there's a right way to do something. But if you go to Africa the correct way, like you had married into a tribe, okay, this is the only way I know, okay? But if you have married into a tribe, okay, or you have friends that are African and you trust them and you've been friends with them for many years and then you move to Africa, okay? This is only how you can come to the understanding that you did a good thing for your life, okay? But if you just jumped up and moved to Africa, you didn't move with anybody that you knew from the land, okay, or from the tribe, okay, then you have messed up. That's why a lot of y'all come with these horror stories about moving to Ghana and stuff like that, and Tanzania and all these things like that. So y'all come with like these horrible stories about what happened to you because you went over there trying to play Americana. That be y'all problem. You go over there trying to play Americana, and Americana don't work in Africa, okay? You have to humble yourself when you go to Africa. You can't go trying to play Americana, okay? They will dog walk you down here. And so this is why a lot of y'all get treated the way you do when you get down here. Okay? When Take go to Africa, this is how Take does. When she goes to Africa and she sees an elder, you know what Take say? And I'm an elder myself, but when I see an older woman, good morning, ma. How are you, ma? How's things with your family, ma? This is how Take talks. Take leave Americana on the plane. Take leave Americana on the plane. Okay? I leave Americana on the plane when I go to Africa. Y'all doing nonsense, and this be what happened. This would be what happened. Y'all use Americana in Africa, and this is why nobody want to be nice to y'all. This is why y'all get different prices when it comes to the food and stuff like that. I'm just saying. Okay? You doing Americana. Okay? Same price that any of the locals get, Take get same price. Why? Take does not take Americana to Africa. I don't take Americana to Africa. You leave Americana on the plane. Okay? All that showboating and this and that. Leave Americana on the plane. Even if you see a woman in the market, she's selling food and stuff like that. You don't pick up the food. You don't be, being rude to her, this and that. And the first thing you do is greeting. Good morning, ma. How are you? How's everything? They know you don't belong there. They hear your voice. They know you don't belong there. And then they touch you, my child. How are you? I say, I'm doing fine, ma. I'm doing my best, ma. I'm doing my best. That's what you say, right? She laughed. She say, my dear, what do you want? I say, I need tomatoes. I need onions, this and that. Okay, listen, my dear, $100, $200, okay? Not American dollars, okay? We talking about Naira, okay? So that's nothing compared to what you're going to pay at the grocery store, okay? Sometimes you could buy a whole bunch of food. You might spend what? Let's see for the month. You might spend $200. American dollars you might spend for the whole month. It might even last you 2 months. Y'all be doing too much. You do too much, okay? Y'all be having Americana. Americana follow you off the plane. That's the nonsense. I'm just saying. Americana follow you off the plane. Y'all be doing nonsense. And that's how they know, because y'all don't show respect. Y'all don't show respect. You go to another nation and you get nasty with people. That's why I always tell y'all, if anything ever happened here, this is why I don't promote anything happening to America. Some of y'all content creators like, yeah, when America this, you kiss my behind. Kiss my behind. When America do what? When America do what? Because whoever subscribed to when America, y'all, some of y'all getting here talking about you want America to fall. When some of y'all say that nonsense, I take heed to the message does not support violence. I don't support violence. But I'll be ready to do something to one of y'all. Because I'm going to share something with you while I say this. If anything happens to the United States of America, we don't have nowhere to go. No nation is going to accept us. You want to know why? Because we always doing Americana this, Americana that. We don't have no respect. Who going to take us? Who is going to take us? If you don't have a link outside this country, who is taking you? Okay? Who is taking you? That's why I don't agree with y'all when y'all be in here talking about, oh, when America fall. And when y'all say that, I be saying in my mind, kiss my so-and-so. Yeah. Okay? Kiss my so-and-so, because who wants their nation to fall? Why do y'all think that is cute? Who does that? Who does that? You won't have nowhere else to go. Anyway, we done jumped off topic. Let me just let that be. I'm just saying to y'all that the white South Africans, y'all have messed up. Y'all messed up. That would have not been my choice to come here. Y'all gonna see. There's a problem here. You are going to see. White South Africans, y'all gonna see. You know how sometimes when you go to the bar, you get in an argument with your brother at the bar, okay? Y'all get in an argument with your brother at the bar. Somebody get in the middle, break y'all up, this and that, tell y'all, listen, man, you go your way, and y'all separate, right? Not in America. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming to break nobody up. Not in America, okay? You don't know if somebody got a peace be still on them or anything. Y'all have messed up. Ain't no way I'm coming. No way. You own your land outright. And only the government was only asking just for the land that was not occupied. Anyway, we done. We done. We gonna see about it later. We gonna see about it later. There'll be so many South Africans saying they wish they would have never left South Africa. Watch you hear it. It's gonna come on social media. You gonna hear it. It's gonna be different. I'm just letting you know. Okay, I'm just letting you know. It's gonna be different. Okay, it's gonna be different. Y'all crazy. Ain't no way. Okay, I'm just saying. Ain't no way. Now, I see some people putting like hate comments in the chat. Baby, this is not the place. You need to scroll up. We don't believe in all that hatred stuff. You got to go, honey. Okay? Please, because that's nonsense. We don't do stuff like that over here. Now, let's get into the next nonsense. What benefit does a man gain being a stepfather? Okay? Now, I want y'all to hear what this woman said. Okay? I want y'all to hear what this woman said. Guys, if you like the content, please like and subscribe to the page. Okay? Please like and subscribe to the page if you feel the content. If you're here right now, because it's a lot of y'all in here, please hit the like button. Also, donate to the channel if you feel the content. Let's get into the first foolery of the day. Honey, when I heard this, I was like, this woman got the audacity. Okay? She was ready for the smoke. Shout out to The Future is Feminine Media. And shout out to Is the Prize Media. There's two content creators together, okay? But a brother asked this question to this woman, and she immediately had the answer. She thought this made sense, okay? Malik said, nah, once the relationship dies, so does the connection to the children. Okay? Now, I see this one right here. Holy said, I will never be a stepfather. All right, now. Let's get into the foolery. Here we go.
That's off the table. I just want to know, what benefit would I get from being a stepfather? Would a man be wrong for asking a woman that?
I think it's a loaded question, because why are you asking me that? I feel like as a man, you should know if you're coming into a relationship where there's children involved, I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask in terms of what's the benefit that I get for being a stepfather to your children. Like, that doesn't even sound right to me.
No?
Because I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you know that I have children, you should already start programming your mind to think, okay, I'm going to be around her children.
Okay.
My question is, why should I want you around? What benefits do we get from having you around? So that's what I would need to know. Like, what are my children going to see in you? What are my children going to learn from you? Okay. Those are the questions. So if you're saying, what benefit do you have from being a stepfather to my children, I'm going to ask you, why are you even asking that question?
Okay. I'm not saying that it's off the table.
Is the man wrong for asking that question? Is he wrong for asking? I'm still saying it wrong. Is the man wrong for asking that question? What benefit am I going to get being a stepfather? What benefit am I going to get for being a stepfather? Melissa said, no, he's not wrong. Malik said, shaking my head. She still feels she is, uh, mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. King Libra, hello, how are you, honey? I don't think the brother is wrong. I don't think he's wrong for asking that. I don't see anything wrong with him asking what's the benefit of him being a stepfather. I don't know what's the benefit. If a man had asked me that, I wouldn't know what the benefit would be to be a stepfather, because this is just take heed. This is just take heed answer. I'm not saying this is every woman's answer, okay? Because the woman that has the child or children, she needs this man, okay? The man who is marrying a woman with children, he's taking on all the risk, because she may not tell him that she tied her tubes. Maybe he don't have children at all. Okay, because there's some women that lie to men and have their tubes tied, and the man that wants to marry her, he doesn't know she has her tubes tied. So now he's raising 4 or 5 other men bloodline to be men and women of substance if their father is not around in their life, right? So he's raising different lineages, okay, that the teaching that he's given is supposed to be passed down to his bloodline, okay? But now she done closed the womb. She did not let him know. 3 years down the line, he's already invested in these children. These children call him daddy. They respect him, this and that. And no baby is coming from the mama. This man got a sour deal. He got a sour deal because he's raising 4 or 5 men, children, and then now his own lineage has been cut dry because this woman that he loves, because he loves her, can't have his child because she closed up shop. Okay? And she has no thought to even bring in another child into this marriage because she has already 4 or 5 kids. So she don't want to have any more children. So she's holding this man hostage. I'm just saying, there's some men out here that has been held hostage by women who you can take care of these 4 or 5 kids and raise them as your own, but I'm not going to have your baby. Now listen to me. Listen, I know some of y'all like take heed, be what? I'm just saying this happens. This happens. So if my husband had ever said to me, what is my benefit to dating you who is a baby mother? What is the benefit that I'm going to receive? You know what I would have told him? I don't know. That's the true answer. Y'all like everybody dancing around the answer, you know, everybody dancing around this question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that because some of y'all will get in here and say, oh, I screw good. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to, and another woman knows all those things too that don't have, that do not have children. I'm just saying. So I myself, I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know what to say. Like if my king had asked me that while we were dating, what would be the benefit of dating me who was a baby mama? I wouldn't know what to say. So for y'all getting out here talking about men should not have to ask you that they a grown man, they should know that you need a man of substance that will help raise these children. Where they daddies at? Why they daddies are not men of substance? Why their daddies are not out here breaking their backs and making sure they take care of these children? Onika, how are you, honey? Where they daddies at? Why they daddies are not in their life? You want the husband or boyfriend that's coming into the life, not the husband, we're going to say boyfriend. The boyfriend that is coming in, you want him to be responsible, but you on baby daddy number 5. How come you didn't check if baby daddy number 3, baby daddy number 4, number 5 was not responsible? Why didn't you check that? This is the thing. And I see what you put in here. I see what you said. Take heed, don't worry about that. Only guys who ain't ready for the job ask that question. I don't think so. I don't think so, dear. It's a valid question. It's a valid question. What is the benefit of being a stepfather? I'm going to share something with you. And I say this is my situation. I'm not saying anybody else's situation. But if my husband did not take mercy on me when we were dating back then, if he didn't take mercy on me, if he didn't take mercy on me back then, I don't know where I would be. I know I would still be doing the best I can, but I was not right for marriage. Because I needed someone to take time to teach me. And I wasn't getting it from my family. See, when a woman has not been groomed to be a wife, she's a problem. And if she don't understand that she's a problem, she'll continue to get in her 40s and 50s and get in here and say, I don't need no men. Men ain't shit. Men ain't gonna never be shit. You see what I'm saying? So if you are not taught that something is wrong with your mindset, your way of thinking, you continue to stay like that. Even in your 50s and 60s. I'm just saying. So when a man says that what is the benefit of me being a stepfather? That's a hard question right there. I don't think no woman can answer that question correctly because this man is coming in and he's coming to save the family. He's coming to save the family, to bring structure. You understand? He's coming to save the family, to bring structure. He holds all the cards. What benefit do you bring this man who is coming in and taking care of children that are not his? What is the benefit for him? There's no benefit. Nobody can tell me there's a benefit. There's none. He's doing this because he sees something in you. He sees something in that woman that makes him want to save her. But this is the thing. You have to want to be saved. You have to want to be saved. Because a man can come along and help you with these children. But you have to want to be saved. Because some of y'all will get this type of man that has come in to save the family, and you will dog walk him for one of your baby daddies. You will put your baby daddy first. This man done put you in the house. He done put those kids in the house. Those kids have their own room. And you will go and get upset with him. Okay? Go and get upset and argue with him because he's telling you your baby daddy ain't supposed to be in my house. He want to see his kids. Let him pull up in the front of the house and let his child walk out to the car. You understand? He ain't supposed to be in my house. So now you flip out on your husband and you get in here and you tell him, well, I met him first. And the first thing that man's supposed to tell you, you met him first, right? You met him first. But he didn't want you. If he wanted you, me and you would have never met. So you're choosing him to respect him instead of choosing to respect me. You understand? You're choosing to respect him, then respect me. My sisters, I'm going to share something with you. This is how you know you ready to submit and do what you're supposed to do before you get married to this man of substance. This is how you know. When he tell you your baby daddy ain't supposed to be in your house. Your baby daddy, he want to pick up that child. He need to pick up that child outside. Okay? I ain't supposed to see him when I come to your house to visit you. You understand? It's supposed to be a boundary. Hey, Eddie, how are you? There's supposed to be a boundary between me and him. There's supposed to be a boundary between me and your children. That boundary is respect. And my sisters, you can't do this boundary between the man of substance and your baby daddy, and you can't do this boundary between your children and the man of substance, then that means you're not ready for marriage. If you ever say to the man of substance that my baby daddy was here first before you, and you ever tell the man of substance that my children don't have to respect you because you ain't their daddy, you not ready for marriage. You not ready for marriage. Anytime you have said any of these two words out your mouth to the man of substance between you and your baby daddy, okay? If there's not a boundary of respect there, okay? Don't marry. And if you allow those children to do whatever they want to do to the man of substance, then don't marry. Don't marry. It's not going to work. All you're going to do is bring this good man of substance into a whole nightmare. A whole nightmare. Now, don't get me wrong. Kids are disrespectful. They say certain things. But what you're supposed to do is when you see it, you correct it. And let the child know right in front of the man of substance in his face so he can see you do the correction to the child. And the child know that, oh no, mama ain't playing. That's how it's supposed to be. If you're not ready to make these two steps, you're not ready to get married. You're not. Go marry one of those baby daddies that you got. Don't go in there and accept no ring from another man that wanted to save you. Don't accept none of that. Go to one of those baby daddies or go back to your baby daddy. You're not ready. Because some of y'all will bring men of substance who have put in their mind they're coming to save you, okay? Because they see something in you that they love, that they like. They see something in you. So they want to come save you. Some black men, I'm going to share something with you. Some black men see their mother and some of y'all. They see how their mother struggled raising them. This is why most black men, we not going to say some, most black men date baby mamas because they see something psychologically, the stuff that they mama been through, the stuff that their mama had to work all the time and go through all this hardship. So they are coming, they done put their cape on, trying to come save you. And some of these brothers F around and they find out because you were not ready to be saved. You weren't ready. You ain't go through enough bull crap yet. This is how we know you didn't go through enough bull crap yet. It's because you sat up in this man's face and you told him my baby daddy was here first. That's how I already know you ain't go through enough nonsense. When those kids say something smart to him and you don't correct those kids, that's how I know you didn't go through enough stuff yet. When those kids get in there and tell him, you ain't my daddy, you be telling me what to do, and you don't correct the child, you laugh about it, that's how I know you ain't go through enough stuff yet. You don't need no man. Just continue to raise those baby kids on your own. So when this young man had asked this question to this woman, she immediately got upset. She was on fire. You understand? 18 said, don't marry someone else's husband. The words of take heed to the message. Listen, sis, you know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying. You know I ain't lying. Come on now. You know I ain't lying. Melissa said, trying to be captain, save a hoe. Sorry, I know that was wrong. Don't worry. It wasn't wrong, Melissa. It wasn't wrong, baby. This is the uncomfortable truth. There are some brothers that because they saw the nonsense that their mama went through, they want to save you and they wind up hurting themselves. There are some brothers right now, and they in my chat. They in my chat right now. They were stepfathers and they loved those children. They loved those children. They wish that they could still be able to talk to the child because they love those children. But once him and the mama break up, the mama what? She separate those children from this man. And they might have been raised with this man maybe till they was like age 11 or 12 or 13. And he raised them since they was like 2 or 3. And because now the mama mad, she separate the kids from him. And so now he don't get to see those babies no more. Mind you, all that time, this man belonged to another woman. Spiritually, he belonged to another woman. He was not even supposed to be with you. Because why? You didn't treat him right. See, some of y'all grab these men because you just need someone to hold on to. Some of y'all grab these men because you need financial stability. You don't grab them because you love them. You don't grab them because you respect them. Because if you respect them, can nobody cross that boundary. I don't care who it is. Can nobody say no nonsense to this man in your presence. That's how I know when a man is not supposed to be with this woman, because you have no respect for your husband. You have no respect for him that you can just let people dog walk your husband. You can dog walk your husband in front of people. That's how I know you have no respect for him. I ain't say you didn't love him. I ain't say you didn't love him. But that's how I know you don't have no respect for him. See, a woman can love a man till the cows come home all day. You hear me? But she can also curse him out in public and curse him out in private and call him an ain't shit man. But remember, she love him. But a woman that respects a man, she can't call him all those names. She can't. I ain't saying they ain't gonna argue, but she can't call him out his name. She can't dog walk him because she have so much respect for him. I know it's nasty, but it's true. There are men of substance that are stepfathers that want to help you. But when you don't put those boundaries in step with the father, the baby fathers, and the children, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's not. It's going to clash like titans all the time. And this is why content creators, black men content creators, get up here and they tell these men, do not be stepfathers. This is why they get up here and tell them, do not be stepfathers, because it's not worth it. But Take Heed ain't gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you that. How can I tell you that? When somebody took time to save me. So how can I tell you don't be a stepfather? All I would say to y'all, my brother, if you took time to listen to me, because I'm not teaching y'all nothing. This is a woman's channel. If this woman doesn't know how to put boundaries between that baby daddy, and she don't know how to put boundaries between those children, then my brother, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. All you're going to do is end up in heartache. Don't waste your time. Find that out way before you marry her. You hear me? Find out way before you marry her. If she know how to set those boundaries, you understand? If she know how to set those boundaries with that baby daddy and those children. If she don't know how to do that, then just listen, I got to go. I got to go. I'm just saying, Green Beans, you always coming up here with something. Everybody else's phone is okay. I'm looking at another phone up here. That phone is okay. Okay. So it's only you. It's only you. Okay. Lagging on lagging on your end. It's only you. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm just saying. All right. I'm just saying. Now, Reed said none of them set boundaries, none. And boundaries need to be set, though. Purge, what's going on, baby? Okay. All right, I'm just saying, it's sad. It's sad, y'all. Now, we going to get onto something else. Now, y'all know Diddy been in the news, y'all. Okay? Y'all know Diddy been in the news. We going to get on to something else, y'all. We going to get on something else. Y'all know Diddy been in the news. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen. Listen, y'all. I don't think it's going to go the way the federal government want this thing to go. I don't think it's going to go the way they want this to go. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. Because listen, when you gotta go in front of a federal judge, okay? I'm just saying, y'all. When you gotta, I'm just saying, y'all. Wait, y'all. Let me finish, y'all. When you gotta go in front of a federal judge, right? You got to be mindful of the stuff that you say. Okay, I just want us to understand that not just a federal judge, just a judge in general. You have to mind the stuff that you say, okay? Because they will make you recant. I can't. I'm just laughing, Miss Straight Up No Chase. I swear, this is crazy. I kid you not. Listen, honey, I can't. Some of y'all standing up here on the stand and stuff like that, and y'all talking, okay? I'm just saying some of the stuff is funny. I'm sorry. Okay? Miss Straight Up No Chaser says, stop now. Stop. I ain't lying. Okay? I ain't saying he innocent. But I don't think this is going to be an open and shut thing. I don't think so, because it doesn't sound like It doesn't sound like he forced anybody to do this stuff. I'm just saying, the way the witnesses is coming to tell a story, it doesn't sound like. I'm just saying. It doesn't sound like it. And I'm trying not to laugh at this thing. But you know, we were told that this man was forcing this and forcing that, and he did this and he made people do that and this and that. And so when you hear the witnesses speak, they like, no, sometimes he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. So I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying something is not right, okay? Something is not right. And I don't think it's going to be an open and shut type case. It's not. Y'all listen, I just want to share that with y'all, okay? Now we going to go into somebody who is dissecting. No, you know what? First, we're going to go into somebody who is dissecting, the case a little bit. I'm sorry, I was drinking some water. That's going to dissect the case a little bit on YouTube, okay? And we're going to talk about it. It was so good. So Chronicles Speak, okay? We're going to shout out to Chronicles Speak, okay? She did a whole thing of Diddy trial day 2. And I want us to listen, okay? Now, I also had some South African clips, too, about the refugee stuff. But you know what? I'll just share that with y'all, okay? But let's go over to Diddy. And I want y'all to hear this because some of the testimony is wild. Let's get into it. Here we go. It's going to be a commercial first. But listen, y'all, I'm sorry. Some of the stuff I don't know. I don't know if they got him. I don't know. Because the stuff that people were saying all over social media, right? Okay. And now when you got to put that thing on paper, when you got to be saying this stuff, the whole story mess up. You know what I'm saying? The whole story mess up. And the prosecution is crazy. It's crazy. And they keep telling going to the judge doing the sidebar and this and that because the message is missing up. Like the person who's talking is saying a whole new story. So it's wild, y'all. It's crazy. Here we go. Shout out to Chronicles Speak. Here we go.
Welcome to Chronicles Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Yes, look at me.
So yesterday kicked off day 1 of the infamous Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. Now Diddy is facing some serious federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering, obstruction, drug distribution, just to name a few. Prosecutors accuse him of leading a criminal enterprise that exploited and abused women for over a decade. Now prosecutors claim that Diddy used his fame, power, and money to lure, control, and abuse women. The Combs' enterprise allegedly had rules and enforcers to keep victims in line. Now, prosecutors say women were drugged, filmed, and trafficked, and sometimes beaten. Diddy's legal team says the case is based on lies, exaggeration, and false memories. They claim the women are motivated by money and the Me Too spotlight. Diddy maintains he's innocent and a target because of his fame. On today, trial day 2, Cassie Ventura is expected to testify. Again, she is Diddy's ex-girlfriend, and she is central to this case. Diddy assaulted and trafficked her for years, and she settled with the lawsuit in 2023, but is now cooperating with the government. The first witness to testify yesterday was Israel Flores, who was a security officer at the California hotel where a violent incident was captured on surveillance camera. I'm sure you've all seen it, as it was shown last year by CNN. He gave multiple details that were not included in his incident report 9 years ago, and one of Diddy's attorneys, Brian Steele, poked all kind of holes in his story, pretty much stating, why did you not put this in your incident report 9 years ago, but all of a sudden you're getting on the stand now with all of these extra add-ons. Now, the second witness called to the stand was Daniel Phillip, who testified he was paid to have sex with Cassie Ventura with Diddy present. He would watch and pleasure himself. He testified Combs once threw a bottle at Ventura and dragged her by her hair. He stated that it frightened him, and he even asked Cassie one time, why are you dealing with this dude? He thought him and Cassie were pretty much friends. He was just excited to be in the moment. He said he didn't even have to get payment, although he did. He was just happy with being with these two celebrities. Yesterday ended with Diddy's defense team still cross-examining this particular witness, and we are going to pick up right where we left off. They have about an hour left. So let's get into things. But before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this case and so much more. Now let's get back into it. Walking into the courtroom.
Y'all, please like and subscribe to this sister channel. Oh my God. Okay. Please like and subscribe to her channel, Chronicle Speak. Okay. Content is always fire, honey. Let's get in here. Here we go.
Judge Arun Subramanian says, let's try to get through these issues efficiently as we have the jurors waiting. We have a letter from a juror that we will make court exhibit number 1. On the videos, when will they be offered into evidence? Prosecutor Johnson says this afternoon. Judge says this is about evidence that is coming into the case. The public has a right to know what is happening at trial. I don't see how we would navigate that concern. There's a potential impact on the jurors of signaling some evidence requires sealing. Okay, so I did my little digging. So what is currently happening is that news organizations are objecting to efforts to keep some of the videos and audio evidence in Diddy's trial hidden from the public and from the press. Now, why do they care? They argue that the allegations of sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution are serious and of huge public interest, especially given Diddy's name, fame, and influence. What they want. Now, they're not asking for copies of the video or anything like that. They just want to be allowed to see and hear them as they're shown to the jury, or at least allow 3 approved reporters, pool reporters, to do so and to report on what they see. Diddy's attorney Ignipolo says this is adult pornography. That's what this is. So it's narrowly tailored. Application is only that the visual images and the audio is within the ambit of the sealing order. We could ask questions tastefully. He continues by saying, what would the NYT and WSJ, who are all reporters, do with this information? Note that they are not the only press that is requesting this. He says sometimes things get unsealed and published. Judge says on the 2 incidents with Ms. Ventura, when we discussed this last week, defense says the assault in Connecticut, messages between Ms. Ventura and Mr. Combs, it's relevant. Judge says, let's see if there's any issue. Prosecution says it should be excluded. Teeny Garagos, Diddy's attorney, said he suspected she was cheating on him. She did not answer the phone. She got into a bar fight and tried to unalive someone. So it's relevant to his suspicion and her substance abuse outside of their sexual relationship. Teeny Garagos continues saying she was taking drugs while close with her family in another state. Judge says, I overruled the government's objection. This can be asked about. Now, prior consisting statements. We're talking about a sequencing issue.
Now, why would the government not want the videos to be seen? Why would the government not want the videos to be shared? Okay? Why wouldn't they? Because y'all said y'all have all this evidence, so why wouldn't the government want these things to be seen? Because I'm just saying, because y'all said he is the ringleader of all this foolery, right? He did it, right? He responsible for everything. So why wouldn't the government want the videos to be seen? Because probably he wasn't in most of those videos. Probably he wasn't even in most of these videos that Cassie claimed that he had. You know what I'm saying? He had forced her to do certain things. So he probably wasn't nowhere to be found. And maybe she was the aggressor. I know they say women are not the aggressor, but I'm just saying, you know, because in this video, Cassie said on the stand that at times she was alone. The security guard said at times she was alone doing these things on her own. So You know what I'm saying? But everybody like, nah, Diddy is the puppet master. Okay? But they just made him look like he ain't know what the hell was going on. Okay? They just made him look like he ain't know what the hell was going on. Let's continue. Here we go.
On direct or in rebuttal. Prosecutor Johnson says in their opening statement, they said Miss Ventura made her own choices. They asked who really had control in this relationship, clearing, begging the answer that it was Miss Ventura. Exhibit B3-115, the threat to release the sex tape. They said only she had it. So they're pretty much saying, how would Diddy be able to threaten her with releasing the sex tapes if she had them all in her possession? Alexander.
You see? Right there. Because they're saying Cassie had all the sex tapes. So how is it that Diddy was saying, oh, I'm going to release all the sex tapes when she had control of the sex tape? She even said as well, when she did those things, she asked him to delete the video and stuff like that. And he deleted the video. So who was in control of who? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it doesn't, let's continue. Let's continue. Here we go.
For Combs says, we submit that these are hearsay until redirect. Judge says if they come in, meaning the jury, they're in. You don't object? Shapiro says, we do. What we said in the opening was that Mr. Combs, judge said, you seem to say she was lying about threats in the released video. Baby, this judge ain't playing around. So listen to this. Shapiro says, the predicate for prior consistent statements hasn't been met yet. Judge says, I find it has been. For this exhibit, the defense opening said there will be millions of reasons for people to testify here. That's the attack that was used, as to B3-116-2. Judge continues by saying, but the standard has not yet been reached as to B.
Now I want to stop right there because Renee had said something in the chat. Renee said this. This is why he had cameras all in his house for covering his ass, allegedly. Now, I believe you for that one. I believe you, Renee. And this don't look like he was the problem. This don't look like he was the problem. So far, they on day 2, okay? And the judge is a whole problem, baby. You hear me? Oh, my God. Let's continue. Here we go.
3-2 and B339. Okay, get Mr. Phillips in the witness box, then bring in the jury. All rise. Combs' attorney, Xavier Donaldson, continues his cross-examination of Mr. Phillips. So to continue, you returned to the Gramercy Hotel. Mr. Phillips says, yes. So while you and Cassie Ventura were having sex for hours, Miss Ventura took the lead? He says, no. You took the lead? He says, we were equally doing our thing. There wasn't a leader. He says, you decided together?
You see that? There wasn't no leader. We equally decided to do it together, but she said Puff made her do these things with these people. So the guy who was screwing Cassie said, no, there wasn't no leader. We just was doing these things to pleasure each other. Okay. You see, that's why when you get people on the stand, things sound different because they know if they lie, they going to jail. That's why things sound different when you get on the stand, okay? Things sound different when you get on the stand because if you lie, what you gonna do? You gonna go do, and you ain't never been in jail before? Baby, take heed, ain't never been in jail before. I will sing like a canary. You will not have me. I'm not going to jail for nobody. Yes, I grew up in the hood, but you won't have me going to jail, okay? I grew up in the hood, but I ain't never been incarcerated. Baby, I'm telling everything. I'm telling what color the soap look like. Malik, don't laugh at me. I'm telling what color the soap look like, what the rags look like in the bathroom, okay? The bed color of the sheets. Was it 100,000 count or was it a 10,000 count? What color was the pillow? Okay, what kind of candy they had on the table? You know what I'm saying? And you know when I say candy, what kind of drugs? I'm telling everything, okay? Now, Holy said the soap is white. The soap was green. Listen, I don't have time. You will not, I'm telling everything. Okay, did you see the mama? I saw the mama. What color did the mama have on? The mama had purple and black on. You know what I'm saying? Eddie, don't laugh at me. I'm gonna tell. Yes, Queen, Black Queen, don't laugh at me. I'm telling. Take heed, ain't never been to jail before. I don't know what Big Bertha looked like. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. You hear this deep voice talking about assume the position. I'm scared. Like, no, I will be going to jail. I'm not going to go to jail for nobody. Okay, so you sound different when you get on this, you know, you get up there, you sound different. No matter what you said on social media, but when you get in there, when you get in there on the witness stand, okay, you sound different. I'm not doing that. Let's continue. Oh my God.
Yes, Donaldson says, fair to say, she was in complete control of everything she was doing. He says, I can't say that. He says, you don't wear a condom? He says, I did not. Ooh. He says, your boss told you, Miss Cassie Ventura.
They was in their school without condoms. Everybody. Well, a freak off, yeah. Yeah, because you're drunk and high and everything. That's nasty. Oh my God. So if somebody got something you didn't even know, that means everybody got it. Oh my God. Let's go.
For the hotel. He says, yes. Donaldson says she paid with her credit card. The dancer says, I have nothing to do with that. She used her card to pay for the dancer. Donaldson said, okay, that assault at her apartment on 11th Avenue. Phillips says, I believe it was West End Avenue. Donaldson says, you claim Mr. Combs told her to come over. She said she had her personal information on the computer, so wait a minute. And he threw a bottle at her? Phillips said, correct. Donaldson said, he comes out and says, are you ready? Phillips says, are you guys ready? Donaldson says, isn't it true Mr. Combs told you, yo man, I'm going to have to deal with this. You need to get the F out. The dancer says, that is not correct. Donaldson said, in 2023, didn't you tell prosecution? He said, yo, man. Prosecution said, objection, not in evidence. Judge Subramanian said, sustained. You can only use it to try to refresh his recollection. Donaldson says, read it to yourself. Does it refresh you?
That's nasty. So they said, you cannot lead this witness like that. Okay? The witness said, man, you read it for yourself. Does it refresh you? Okay. The witness is hostile. I don't, is that right? The witness is being hostile. Okay. Oh my God. No. I want the witness. How you want the witness off the stand? The witness belongs to y'all. How you want the witness off the stand? The witness is being hostile, judge. Okay. You don't remember what you told us? See, when you don't remember, that means somebody lying. When you don't remember some stuff like that, that means I thought it was tragedy, that, you know, it was tragic. If you don't remember, that means somebody lying. You understand? Because take heed, listen. When it was something horrible that happened to me, baby, I can recant that thing. I don't care how old I am. I can recant that thing. So if it was so bad, like you said it was, you'll be able to recant. Oh my God. Let's continue. Here we go.
Male dancer Phillips says, I do not remember saying that. What I am reading here, get the F out. Prosecution says, objection. Judge says, disregard that. Diddy's team is not coming to play. So then Donaldson said, did you date a model named Malia? Male dancer said, Malia, and I didn't say I dated her. We were friends. Donaldson says, you were with her and saw Cassie with someone, not Mr. Combs. He says, yes. Donaldson says, you told Malia you saw Cassie socially? Male dancer says, yes. Donaldson says, you thought Cassie wanted to see you one-on-one. Nothing to do with Mr. Combs, right? He says, I don't see what you mean. Donaldson says, in front of the Dream Hotel, that's what you thought. Phillips said, no. Donaldson said, so you only saw her inebriated one time? He said, I saw her passed out on the couch. Mr. Combs told me, I don't think it's going to happen today. Donaldson said, the time with the other male, you rotated? He says, not correct. He says, you watched? He says, yes. Donaldson says, you said Mr. Combs was directing, but do you recall meeting the prosecution on March 28, 2025 and telling them you didn't recall Mr. Combs giving directions about positions? He says, yes. He says, so he didn't direct? He says, incorrect. Donaldson says, you thought you were in a relationship with Cassie, didn't you? Phillips said, no. Donaldson said, you wanted to get along with her, to date her. Phillips said, if she let me, I would have. Donaldson said, you get jealous.
So he said, if Cassie would have, now mind you, she with Diddy. But this witness said if she would have let me, I would have dated her. So what does that mean? He's up there because, what do you think you're going to get out of this? Because she married now. So what do you think you're going to get out of this? Now your whole story, this sound crazy. Okay? This sound crazy. Okay? Now you talking about you jealous. I'm confused. Let's continue. Here we go.
Philip said no. Donaldson said, did you tell them that Mr. Combs would tell you it's my turn? Prosecution said, objection. Can we have a sidebar? Yo, I see why Diddy did not take that plea deal, baby. They
said, oh, you say you jealous or something. That Diddy said it was my turn. I don't understand. I don't understand. So y'all was, he said no, but that's what you told them. That's what you told them. The prosecution got a problem. You need to rehearse with the witnesses again, okay? And then have them come out, okay? Rehearse with the witnesses and then have them come out, because this is crazy. Okay, because how come when they do these podcasts, they remember everything, but all the stuff that they told y'all, they have forgotten this stuff. Okay, they claim, and now they trying to add more to the story. Like this is what they had when y'all first wrote down everything, and now when they get on to the witness stand, they added more stuff, or what they saying ain't it doesn't line up with their testimony. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that y'all wrote down. This is crazy. Now I see why Diddy was like, nah, let's take this to trial. Let's take this to trial, because, I didn't do all this on my own. Okay? I didn't do all this on my own. I didn't start these freak off parties on my own. So let's take this to trial. Y'all want to get me. Let's get out here and tell the truth now. Okay? You want to call me the monster? Let's see who is the real monster. Okay? I don't blame him. I would have said take it to trial. Now, your business on Front Street, though. Everybody know that you was sucking and all this other stuff. But anyway, let's go. Let's continue. Oh, my God.
The prosecution. So they go and have their sidebar. You got the white noises going on.
Oh, my God.
So then Donaldson says, didn't you tell the government that you would feel jealous because you like Miss Ventura romantically? He says, I do not recall that. Donaldson says, put up 35 through 70. Prosecution says, just for the parties. Philip says, I do not recall that. Donaldson says, nothing further.
Got him!
How you don't recall saying that you was jealous, that you jealous? How you don't recall that? That's what you told the prosecution. He didn't know. But listen, he didn't know. Listen, how did you not tell? You told the prosecution that you was jealous. That's what you told. Okay? Now Diddy people like, wait a minute now, bring up so and so. Do you remember now? No, I don't recall. Y'all crazy. Let's continue.
Got him!
Judge tells the prosecution, redirect. Prosecution says, please explain why you now say Mr. Combs directed you. Philip says he asked about positions, but Mr. Combs did tell us what to do. Use baby oil. Prosecution says the timing of the handling of...
Okay, so Diddy is the director because he told y'all to use baby oil. Diddy is the director. Is it a crime to use baby oil now? Is it a crime to tell people use baby oil? He's the director. I just told them to use baby oil. Okay. Oh, did he tell you what kind of position to go in? No. He just said use the baby oil. So somebody said, if they see that you having a hard time, I don't want us to say the word. If they see you having a hard time, okay, and the person say use baby oil, okay, and the person say use baby oil, they say, okay, you having a hard time. They see you having a hard time, and they say use baby oil. Is that directing? Is that directing? I'm just Put it in the chat. Is that directing? Because I said use baby oil. Is that directing? Let's continue. Oh my God.
How did the amount compare to your stripping services? Philip says 3,800 more. Prosecution says, how much were you paid to perform when you could? Philip said $700 to $5,000 or $6,000. She says, and when you couldn't perform, he says, they paid me nothing then. She said, did Miss Ventura call you after the Dream Hotel? He says, yes. She says, do you know who she was with? He says, no. She said, did she answer your text messages? He says, never, almost. She says, you said you wanted to hug her. Why? He said, I could see she was afraid. He said, so what did you do? He said, I could not engage. I was messed up. What did Mr. Combs say to you? He said, it's time for you to go. Prosecution said, in the Gramercy Hotel, who was in the room? Philip said, Sean Combs, myself, and Cassie. Prosecution said, when she appeared to enjoy herself, was Sean Combs always in the room? He says, yes. Prosecution says, was that the same man who called her a bitch and beat her? He said, I did not see the beating, I presume. Donaldson says, objection. Judge says, sustained. Prosecution said, you heard slapping? Philip said, yes. Prosecution said, nothing further. Judge said, recross. Donaldson said, briefly.
I would have said, what kind of slapping? You heard slapping. What kind of slapping was it? That's what I would have asked. Now, I know I got a dirty mind, but I'm just saying, if he would have said, you heard slapping, what kind of slapping was it? Okay? Okay? I'm just saying, what kind of slapping was it? Because a slap is like this. Okay? Or did you hear like this? Which one did you hear? Which one?
Diddy's attorney steps up and says, this document, do you see where you said, I'm on the Upper West Side? She says, 10th West Avenue. Hit me up when you're there. Philip says, yes. Donaldson says, do you see your text? Don't give a F. I'm a little tipsy. I love y'all N-words. Philip says, yes. Donaldson says, and that was after the beating? Philip says, yes. Donaldson says, nothing further. Judge Subramanian says, redirect. The prosecution says, why did you write that? Philip says, I wanted them to see I had no problem with what...
No one understands me. If I actually told people...
He said, I wanted them to see I had no problem with what happened. But you said Diddy had laid hands on Cassie, which we saw the video, because the way he laid hands on her was not right. We all know that ish was not right, the way Diddy had did her. And he was there, okay? The man that's in question right now that they talking about, okay, he was there. He saw, you know what I'm saying? He was there. I don't know if he saw when Diddy was laying hands. I don't know. But, you know, after the whole incident, he said he enjoyed his time with them. Why would you do that if he had whooped her like that? Why would you say, I enjoyed my time with both of y'all? What kind of nonsense?
I had no problem with what he had done to keep it going. Prosecution says no further questions. So the prosecution asked for a sidebar. Judge Arun Subramanian says yes. Judge says jurors take a break. We have some issues to deal with. So the jurors leave. Now Combs' attorney Anna Maria Estavo said we like Miss Ventura's husband to not be allowed in the courtroom during her testimony. We may need to call him later as a witness, depending on the direct. Prosecutor Johnson says, I am not sure how Mr. Fine's testimony can be relevant. Prosecution said, that's her husband. She's pregnant. She needs him as her support system.
I'm going to share something with you. Can you imagine having somebody tell you all the freaky shit your wife did to them in a courtroom full of people? Black men can't go through this. Ain't no black man can sit there and go through this. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what nobody say. Black men cannot go through this. Okay? All right. I want to share that with y'all. Black men cannot sit there and go through that. Okay? Shout out to the men who can do it, okay? Shout out to y'all. Now, that's not a good shout out, but I'm saying shout out to you who can do it, because black men can't do that. They can't do that. I don't care. They'll be looking at their wife like two-sided. It ain't no way. Ain't no way. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
Says Miss Garrigo. Tini Garrigo says, give me 15 minutes if he wants to come into the courtroom today, but we ask that he be excluded when the testimony gets into post-2018. Prosecutor Johnson says, in my initial examination, I will ask about post-2018, but only about devices. Judge says, Miss Garrigos. Tini Garrigo says, that's okay. Judge said, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so now we're back. Bailiff, all rise. Prosecutor Johnson says the government calls Cassandra Ventura. Okay. She takes the stand extremely pregnant. Prosecutor Johnson says, how old are you? Miss Ventura says 38. Prosecutor Johnson says, what is your work? Miss Ventura says musician and entertainer. Okay. Prosecutor Johnson says, how long were you with Sean? She says 10 years. Did you all get into arguments? Miss Ventura says yes, it will result in violence, dragging. Johnson says, what else did he do? She says, stomp me in my head if I was down. Johnson says, how frequently was he violent? She says, too frequently. I would get black eyes and bruises. Prosecutor Johnson says, let me show you a video. The LA hotel lobby video is shown. She says, where is that? Miss Ventura says, the Intercontinental in Los Angeles. It was after a freak-off. Prosecutor Johnson says, what does that entail? She says the hiring of an escort, setting it up. Prosecutor Johnson says, how did you feel when he first asked you for it? She said, confused, nervous. I wanted to make him happy. Johnson says, did you agree to one when he first proposed one? She says, yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. I didn't know what no could turn into. Prosecutor Johnson says, what do you mean?
Let me stop. My dear, I know you don't think that I feel some type of way because you putting bananas in my chat. What does that mean? Always somebody ignorant got to come in here. You think I'm a shit? I eat bananas. I eat watermelon too. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy. Okay, it's healthy. I don't know why y'all get in here and be putting nonsense in the chat. Like what? I'm supposed to be offended? I've seen too much shit in my day. I'm supposed to be offended. I don't get offended over small stuff. Okay. Malik said it's a troll. I know, baby. I know. Thank you. Lost in Translation podcast. How are you, honey? It's good to see you. How you doing? Guys, please like and subscribe to Lost in Translation podcast. Content is always fire and educational. And this man is God-fearing, honey. So when you get in here, be ready. Be ready for a teaching, honey. Let's continue. Here we go.
Making him angry. Johnson says, what were you afraid would happen if you said no? Ventura said, through time, he had blackmail material. Prosecutor Johnson said, what did you give the government? Ventura said, laptops.
Hey, young.
Laptops. Cassie was definitely prepared. The last time she left Diddy's house, she was like,
I'm leaving here with something.
Prosecution says, I've handed up GXB. Do you recognize it? Ventura says, yes, I've reviewed this drive. It has communication and documents pertaining to Mr. Combs. Prosecution said, did you review photos on it? She says, yes. Prosecution says, what's this photo? She says, me in 2004 with Carrie Morgan. Prosecution says, when did you sign with Bad Boy Records? She said 2006. It was a 10-album deal. Prosecution said, did you release any after late 2006? Ventura, no. Who's in this photo? Kim Porter. She was Sean's ex before me and the mother of his children. Prosecution. So where were you celebrating your birthday in this photo? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We were out on the patio on my 21st birthday. VMAs. What happened then? Sean kissed me in the bathroom. I ran back to the hotel. I told Carrie. Prosecution, when you got back to New York, Ventura, I visited him in the Trump Hotel on Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. Prosecution, what were you doing with your music career? Ventura says, trying to come up with a concept. Sean was calling all the shots. Prosecution, what is the age difference between you and Sean? 17 years. How did you feel about Sean inviting you to hotels? Nervous, excitement. We're going to talk about music. He introduced me to oral sex. I didn't understand it. Did you visit Sean in Miami? Yes, I went with Carrie Morgan and Dallas Austin. Prosecution says, what did you and Sean do together? She says, sexual intercourse. He gave me blue dolphin ecstasy on the boat. She says, had you once before taken ecstasy unintentionally? She says, yes. How did you take ecstasy unintentionally?
How do you take drugs unintentionally? How do you take drugs unintentionally? Take heed, been around crack. I've been around crack. I've been around dope. I have grown up. I've seen a lot of stuff. Okay. I've seen people shoot up needles and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of stuff. Okay. I seen how people melt it and put it in the syringe. Okay. I've seen that growing up. As a kid, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen some crazy stuff. I myself didn't unintentionally start doing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because I see it, let me get in here and start doing it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, you know what I'm saying? How do you do that? And they just let her just walk all over that like it was common. You know what I'm saying? Like I unintentionally. How you just walk off? I unintentionally. This is why a lot of y'all here, when y'all be cheating on your husbands, I unintentionally landed on the penis. You know what I'm saying? I unintentionally landed on the penis. Let's continue. Oh my God.
Ventura says it was in Gatorade. Prosecution says when you took it intentionally with Sean, how did it feel? She says like rolling. Prosecution says at the time, what did you think? Ventura says that we were spending a lot of time together. Cassie says, I thought we were monogamous. She said,
Were you born between 1980?
Cassie. How many times did I call you? Cassie. Oh my God. How many times? Oh my God.
Monogamous. She says, was it made public? She says, no, I was his artist. Also, his family, his children. Prosecution says, who was linked to him publicly? She says, Kim Porter. How did Sean treat you at this time? We had fun. What was his lifestyle like? Ventura said he had all these assistants. He could get things done. He traveled quite a bit. Prosecution says, what's this photo?
Mind you, this is why I kept saying to y'all, sisterhood is fake. Sisterhood is fake. She outright said, who was he in a relationship publicly? She said Kim Porter. Okay. But she was screwing Diddy on the back end. Okay. So when y'all get in here and be like, oh, she didn't know nothing about Kim Porter. A lot of y'all was getting in here. Oh, she didn't know anything about Kim Porter. Oh, she never treated Kim Porter bad. How can a woman who's sleeping with your man treat you good? Tell me. How can we like each other? I'm screwing your man, you screwing him too. How can we like each other? Get that out my face. Get that out my face. Y'all up here lying. Oh, she didn't know anything about. She didn't know. That's come on now. She didn't know anything. She didn't know anything. She didn't hate Kim. She didn't have a problem with Kim. Okay. I'm screwing your man. I ain't got no problem with her. I'm screwing her man. I don't have no problem with her. Most women who screw other women's men, they hate that woman. They hate her. They hate her. They don't like her. At times while they sleeping with the man, this is how y'all side chicks do, especially to married men. Be screwing this man while you giving him doggy and all this other stuff. You asking him, oh, is mine better than hers? Is mine better than hers? And you want him to answer. Get out of here with that nonsense. Let's go.
Sean and I at a strip club in New York, like 2007 or 2008. Halloween. Prosecution said, how did Sean's moods vary? She said day to day. Prosecution says, when it swung, could you describe it? She says, anger, zoning out. She says, how did it impact you? Ventura said, greatly. The next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. There was psychological abuse. He'd tell me to watch my mouth. His moods were extreme. He would object if I was being a brat. I made the wrong face. The next thing I know, I was getting hit in the face. She says that when Diddy would call her and she would miss his phone calls, he would call incessantly or have his assistant and security personnel track her down. So tell me something. How did he keep tabs on you? We didn't live far apart. He sent security to come find me or a trusted assistant. Like who? David James, Christina Coram, KK. Was your relationship exclusive? No. Prosecutor, did you see other men? Cassie, yes. Prosecutor, did Sean see other women? Yes, he did. I am Puff Daddy. I am insanely jealous. No, she didn't do that. Prosecutor said, did you move to LA with him? Yes, he wanted to be close to his kids who were also there. Cassie said, I was insanely jealous.
So if Puff Daddy was the way that Cassie kept saying how he is, right? That he didn't let her do this, he didn't let her do that. How was she having outside relationships and he was having outside relationships? And you know what I'm saying? If he's jealous like that, if something's wrong with him, okay? Because no. I see what you put in an open relationship. No, if this man is jealous, if a man is jealous, can a man let his woman go out and sleep with other men? If he's jealous, anybody know that? Can he? Can he let it happen? Can he let you go out and cheat and be with other men? Can it happen? If he insanely jealous, like he cray, something wrong with him, he let you, we in an open relationship, okay, so you could go and do what you know, that doesn't happen. If he's insanely jealous, that's not gonna work. He's not gonna let you. She said she was sleeping with other people. He was sleeping with other people. So how is it that Diddy is insanely jealous? That doesn't compute. If a man is cray up here, okay? If he's cray up here, I don't even want to say cray. That's not crazy. That's not crazy. I just want me and you to sleep together. That's nothing wrong with that. But she said insanely jealous. So if he's insanely jealous, you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's not, come on now. Let's continue. Here we go.
I moved to LA because I was in love and I wanted to be near him. Now, Sean kept personnel hours a day. Security protected him, but kept an eye on me. So while Cassie is speaking, she's doing a lot of moving in her seat and she's also keeping her hand on her.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You ever seen somebody being fidgetive? They keep, because they trying to tell a story, but they like, You ever seen somebody that, they trying to tell a story, but they, bouncing around and stuff like that. They moving around, they being fidgetive, They doing all this. They're lying. They're lying. Police look for that. When you're trying to tell a story, and especially if you keep moving your hands and stuff like that, and you moving around and this and that and stuff like that, okay? Police look for stuff like that. That's why they be asking you so many questions, because they know you lying. Especially, that's right, Melissa, too. That's right, Melissa. If you can't keep that eye contact, okay? Okay. Now, Renee said a crackhead. That's true. That's true. Crackhead, too. Crackhead, too. But wait a minute. Crackheads tell the truth. Okay? Crackheads tell the truth. That's the difference. Okay? A crackhead gonna tell you they robbed you last week. A crackhead gonna tell you they took that $200 out of your drawer that was in your room. Okay? A crackhead gonna tell you they sold your wash machine. A crackhead gonna tell you they sold that computer that you had up there in Tasha's room. A crackhead gonna tell you that they sold your stuff. They ain't gonna lie about it. So I don't know what crack does, but crack gonna tell you. Anybody a crackhead, they gonna tell you what they did. Anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
Pregnant belly. Good approach, sis. Now, she is talking about the apartments where she lived in when she was in Los Angeles and how close they were to Sean Combs' home. She said at one apartment, she traveled between buildings on a golf cart. So where did you live at in LA? 875 Comstock Avenue, Wilshire Corridor Condos. How tall was the building? no more than 17 floors. Now, although she had her own apartment, Sean had keys and he used them whenever he wanted to. She said it was a stomach and knots moment when he visited because she never knew what mood he would be in, whether he would yell and bang on the door or come in smooth. Prosecution says, where did Sean live? 200 South Mapleton. Sean would use a golf cart to get back and forth. Who paid for your rent in LA? Sean, except for when I had a house in Studio City. Why'd you pay then? I could afford it then and I wanted to have some control. It was accepted. By whom? Sean, how many songs did you write while with Sean? Hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet, some on mixtapes. How many albums on your deal were not released? 9. Did you ever get paid for them? No. Cassie says that partying with Diddy was like a job. These freak-offs took a big chunk of her life.
This is the new pink salt recipe that took me from.
You hear that? She said those freak-offs took most of my life. So you were getting paid for these freak-offs. Cause you ain't had to pay no rent. All the clothes and shoes and stuff did he pay for? So you were getting paid for these freak-offs. This was a service you were providing. That's what it sounds like to me. Does it sound like a service that she was providing? That sounds like a service. Okay? That sounds like a service. And I bet you the judge is like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? The judge is like, wait a minute. This sounds like a service.
Diddy was like a job. These freak-offs took a big chunk of her life. She recalls staying up for days on end, drinking, talking, drugs, and having sex with strangers. The freak-offs range from randomly 36 hours to 4 days. Damn. Though they could.
What'd he say? What happened? 36 hours to, wait a minute.
Longer, but they would have breaks. Well, speaking of breaks, the judge has just told them to take a lunch break. And they're back from lunch. 116. Judge Subramanian says, welcome back. Prosecution asks Cassie, who was your manager at Bad Boy Records? Cassie says, James Cruz. What did he tell you? That he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything out with Sean. Now, Cassie, how did you make money if your records weren't being released?
Right.
I did hosting parties when Sean approved them. What comments did Sean make about your physical appearance? That I look too Mexican with my hair like that? How did he like your nails? White, French tip. Your hair? It varied. I shaved my hair in 2009. Your body? He told me to work out, prepare for the freak-offs. How did you feel about his comments? It varied. So Cassie, tell me this. What else did Sean pay for? Cars? Did he give you cash? Yes, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. What else would he take away? My self-confidence. And who would take these things away? His staff. I assume his staff. Defense says objection. Judge says jury will disregard that last answer. And who took away your laptop and your phone?
How somebody don't know if these people are staff? You know what I'm saying? She works for Bad Boy Records. So how do you not know that this is the staff that's taking away your stuff? She said, I assume it's the staff. So why are you saying you assume? If it's the staff, right? Why would you say, I assume it's the staff? Okay? Nah, let's continue. Here we go.
How long would they be gone for? However long I was being punished. How often were you in contact with Sean's staff? Daily. And who are the people in these photos? Christina Coram and Miss Fletcher. And what did you call Miss Coram? KK. And who's that? That's D-Rock. He was Sean's security. Okay, how frequently were you in Sean's residence? All the time.
All the time.
Did they have safes? Yes. What did you observe in them? Cash, jewelry, cameras, and videotapes, guns in NY, LA, and Miami, and Alpine, New Jersey.
Okay.
Do you recall an incident between Sean and Suge Knight? Yes, we were having a freak off in LA. D-Rock came in and said Suge was down at the diner. Sean drove over there. What was your reaction? I cried, said, don't do nothing stupid, Sean. Were you ever handed a gun? Yes, we were doing a club event in downtown LA. We taking mushrooms. I was high. I was told to put the gun in my bag. I was freaking out. Who was present? A driver, security, and Sean. Another time, I saw them get dressed and grab guns and leave in an SUV. How long were they gone? About 30 to 45 minutes. Let me switch topics. How soon into the relationship did Sean mention voyeurism?
If you high, how do you know how long the time that they took to go? Melissa, Melissa, did you understand? Because if you high, how do you know? Like, okay, let's continue. Here we go.
You. First 6 months or maybe a year. Well, how old were you? 22 years old. Why did you agree to a freak off? Good question. I wanted to make him happy. Where was this first freak off? One of his houses in Los Angeles. Okay, exhibit 2A627. Who is this? That's the first escort. Do you know his name? No. No problem. I'll call him the first escort. Were you aware that he was paid? Yes, to dance and to have intercourse with me. What drugs did you take? Ecstasy and alcohol before things started. Would you disguise your appearance? Yes, Sean said that we would disguise ourselves. I wore a masquerade mask. What was a session in a freak off? Until the escort finished.
Is this the mask that Cat Williams was talking about? I just, oh my God. So they wore a masquerade mask. Okay. Oh my God. Wait a minute. This cannot be my day right now. This can't be my day. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue. Here we go.
Sessions with this first escort. At least 2. And how did you feel, Cassie? I was high, so I didn't feel much dirty and confusion, and that he was happy with me. Why did you feel you couldn't say no? I didn't want to make him angry or upset after he shared this part of himself with me. So how frequent did these freak-offs become? Weekly for a consistent amount of years. When was your last one? 2017, maybe 18. How long were you awake during the freak-offs? I never slept. I took drugs, ecstasy and Molly, cocaine. Do you recall all of the freak-offs? That would be impossible. Did you want...
So wait a minute. She said I never slept during these freak-offs. I was taking Molly's, I was taking the crack, all this other stuff to keep woke or whatever like that. I'm gonna share something with you. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, baby. Cocaine will have you basing for a week. Okay? Basing somewhere for weeks. You don't know what time it is. Only time you understand what time it is and the day is when you ran out of crack. That's when you know. Okay? So you can understand these 36 hours and all these 40, all these days, 4 days, all this other stuff. Now you understand. Okay? Yes, Purge. Yes, it is. Shout out to Mr. He Said in the house. Guys, please make sure you tune in to Mr. He Said and Mrs. She Said. Okay, promoting conscious parenting with the Harrises is in the house, baby. Content is nothing but fire and always educational. And Mr. He Said a dog walk you, baby. He a dog walk you, but it'll be with some teaching. You hear me? Okay. Purge said cocaine is a powerful drug. Yes, it is, honey. Cocaine will have you not believe that you have a family anymore. Okay? There are times where you will binge for 3 weeks. Okay? 3 weeks. You done got that money on the first. All those 3 weeks, you have got that money. You got that money on the first. You gone for 3 weeks. You come home 1 week. You take care of the family 1 week. First come around, you gone 3 weeks again. Because now the money done ran out. So now you home. Cocaine is the cheapest drug that you can buy on the market. Cheapest drug. A little vial cost you about $5 back in the day. I don't know how much it costs now, but that's what it was back in the day. Okay? And the bigger vials were 10. Anyway, let's get into this foolery again. Lord, this is nonsense. Oh my God. Here we go.
Yes, I was humiliated. I didn't have those words then. I couldn't talk to anyone. She begins to cry. Did you tell him you didn't want to? Yes, I did. I brought it up gently. I didn't want him to just do it with someone else. Were you able to express your concerns
So she didn't want him to do it with anybody else. So they asked her, did she express it? She said, I did gently because I didn't want him to do it with anyone else. Why do you care if he does it with anybody else? You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do the freak off. Why do you care if he gonna do it with somebody else? You just don't want to do it. A-Team says, so who was the jealous person again? You just don't want to do it. Why do you care? Why do you care if he gonna be doing freak offs with other people? You wouldn't want. Who wants to be up there sucking and screwing and bending over for 36 hours and you said sometimes 4 days? What kind of nonsense? Listen, Malik said, Malik, come on now, Malik. Malik said a willing participant. Come on now, Malik. Oh my God. Can we say that together? A willing participant. Baby, let's continue. Oh my God.
Objection, leading, that's the defense. Rephrase, said the judge. Why would you talk to him gently? She says, I didn't want him to be angry. What is this? These are emails between me and Sean. What did you call him? Pop. No, she didn't. Why? He asked me what I called my grandfather. I did it, but now I think it was disrespectful. What did you write? I really need to, Why did you write that? Because I wanted to be with him. So the prosecution begins to read Sean's text messages to Cassie, and she asked Cassie to read her text messages to Sean. So the text messages from Sean says, you don't want to do anymore? Cassie says, I'm so predictable. So then the prosecution says, what did you think this meant? Cassie says that he knew I didn't want to do the freak offs anymore, but then I backpedaled. Prosecution said, why? To not make him angry. He could be violent. Cassie, where did you get your outfit? Pleasure chest, elsewhere. Did you get piercings? Yes, Sean came with me. Which of his homes did you have freak offs in?
The boxes your girlfriend actually.
So you telling me that he said you don't want to do it anymore? And all you had to do was say, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. Now you said you backpedaled. You backpedaled because, you didn't want to make him angry, but it didn't sound like he was angry. All he said is that you don't want to do it. You don't want to do them anymore. And you could have said, yeah, I don't want to do them anymore. That's it. Oh no, because he gets angry sometimes. So I had to, no. We won't be doing that. Here we go.
Came with me. Which of his homes did you have freak offs in? Miami, New York. What other homes? My homes, all but Studio City. And what other cities? Atlanta, Ibiza. And what hotels in New York did you have freak offs? Trump, Gramercy, well, the Intercontinental, 44th Street, yes. Elsewhere, Mandarin Oriental, Fontainebleau. What names were used? Jackie Star, I used. Frank Black. Now, what supplies were used for these freak offs? Astroglide, baby oil, condoms. Who bought the supplies? Security, Sean's assistants. Which brand of baby oil? Johnson & Johnson's. How was it used? Sean said you needed to be glistening. Were there freak offs where you ran out of baby oil? Defense says objection, Your Honor. This is irrelevant. Prosecution said you also mentioned Astroglide. Defense said same objection, irrelevant. Judge said, sidebar, let me talk to y'all real quick. Starting back with the prosecution, we were just talking about Astroglide. How was it used? Ventura said lubricant. Prosecution said if you ran out, what? We'd call either the staff or the bail desk, give them a tip. Prosecution said, were the freak offs lit? And I'm thinking, damn, sis, you trying to go? But she meant like, were there candles? Was the lights on? Cassie said, initially it was candles, strong smelling, Glade. What you trying to cover up, Diddy? Any other use of candle wax? A few times poured on my body. Who set the temperature of the room? Sean, I was expected to do freak offs on my cycle. Did you want to do that? No. Did you want to be urinated on? Objection, says the defense. Judge says grounds. Defense says asked and answered. Judge said overruled.
Did she say she was expected to do these freak offs on her cycle? Did she say that? Woo! I'm gonna share something with you. My brothers, if you have never smelled, some of y'all don't go there. Some of y'all don't go there, okay? But if you have never smelled a woman when she is on her cycle, okay? Even the most cleanest woman, okay? Woo! Even the most cleanest woman, okay? It's a problem there. It's a problem there. Because, you know, it's our cleaning cycle for the body. You understand? It's the cleaning cycle for the body. Do you understand? And so now you laid up there. I understand why he got the Glade. I understand why he got all that stuff. Oh, my God. Okay? I understand. Okay? I don't care how much, you know, when you're going through that transition of the month, okay? Oh, Lord, no. Ain't no way, okay? When you're going through that transition of the month, okay? Take heed, walk around here in some sweatpants. I'll be like, nah, I can't, you know. Sweatpants, I put my shirt on. I got my big sweater. I don't want anybody, like, don't, and as old as I am, I'm like, don't say nothing to me. I'm like, yeah, don't even come. No, I can't. Lord, and you up there, like, you know, your legs is like, you know, woo, what happened? What happened? And you laid there and woo, no, let me, that's, okay, let's continue. Ain't no.
Ventura said, no, I did not want to do it. Prosecution said, how did it feel? She says, it was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. So why were you choking? Too much urine in my mouth. Who else urinated on you? Sean. Did you want Sean to urinate on you? I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Which hotel charged the most for damages to the room? The Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Back to the urination. Now, Miss Johnson, only a few more questions, said the judge.
Okay.
Why didn't you say no? It was obvious. I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated on by two men. Where did you find escorts? Initially, Craigslist. Not Craigslist. The ghetto.
They found escorts on Craigslist. So they just picked up these people. They just picked them up. Okay. Now, the man said that Cassie told him to pee in her mouth. The escort said, no, Cassie told me to pee in her mouth. Diddy didn't say that. Diddy didn't tell me to pee in her mouth. She said to me to pee in the mouth. Alleged, take heed when I say alleged, but that's what's going to come up next. Or did we hear it already? Let's continue. Here we go.
The ghetto. Emily Johnson started to ask Cassandra about the detailed description of what the hotel rooms looked like after the freak-offs. Ventura says that there would be baby oil all over the walls and the door handles. There would sometimes be blood on the linens because she was expected to have freak-offs while she was menstruating. And then there would be urine on the sheets because Sean Combs would sometimes direct an escort to urinate on her. She did not want that to happen, she says, but there was no conversation about her preferences. It was a turn on for him, so it happened, she says. So in what cities did you respond to ads on Craigslist? Ms. Ventura said, in New York. Did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? Yes. Who directed you to communicate with escorts? Objection, said defense. Who, if anyone, said prosecution. Same objection, said defense. Assumes a fact, not an evidence. Prosecution said, did you ever reach out to escorts independently? She said, no. Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? One couldn't perform, so Sean sent him on. What was a safe escort? Not a cop, and someone who would run and tell everyone about their experience with us. Why not a cop? I learned the whole situation was not legal. Objection, said defense. Jury will disregard that last answer.
Why would she say not a cop? Not a cop, because I learned the whole thing wasn't legal. What do you mean? Not a cop, because I heard the whole thing wasn't legal. Y'all, now you see why Diddy wanted them to take this thing to trial. Now you see why he did not want them to plead this out. Now you see why. Because when you get to the story of it, this sound crazy. This sound crazy. I'm just saying. It sound crazy. Okay? It sound like, yes, a willing participant. That's what it sound like to me. Okay? Let's continue. Here we go.
Judge. Prosecution said, how did Cash get there? Cassie said, security, or he brought it himself. So the escort Dave, do you know his real name? Yes, Clayton Howard. Who is this? Photo shown to witness. That's Daniel. What service did you use? A dancer service. Do you recognize Jules? Yes. In what city did you have freak-offs with Jules? New York, LA, Vegas. Do you know his real name? No. Who's this? I knew him as the Punisher. Did you use drugs at every freak-off? Yes, I need to disassociate and become emotionalist. Who else used drugs at the freak-off? Sean did, sometimes the escort. What other drugs did you use? Special K, GHB, mushrooms? I'll read Sean's parts of the email and you read yours. Miss Ventura says, when should I take the thing? When will you be there? Sean says, pausing, you there? What did you mean? She said, drugs. Sean says, I took mine, I'm flying. Prosecution said, what does he mean by that? She said, he's high. Prosecution said, why did you take more drugs? She says, to not be present with the experience. Why? Because it was something I hated. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It could make me vomit. What would he say? To continue. Would you want to continue with intercourse when you would vomit? No. How does GHB make you feel? Drunk? Tipsy?
So this is how you know that he was not the one that was pulling the strings. Because if you a pimp, right? Let's just say a pimp, right? Pimp don't care if you was vomiting. Pimp don't care if your stomach hurt. Pimp don't care. The pimp don't care. The pimp what? The pimp I need my money. I need my money. You have to perform. I need my money. So she said when she got sick, she didn't perform. If he was the puppet master like they claim, she would have still had to perform sick and everything. I'm just saying. This is what I'm looking at. Here we go.
Cocaine makes my heart race. I'm not a huge fan.
No, she said she don't do cocaine.
The walls come alive. Judge said, we'll take a break. So it's 4:15. Cassie Ventura is back, and now the jury is back. Judge says, you may continue. Prosecutor Johnson said, when drugs ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? Ventura said, Sean would tell me. Prosecutor said, during the session, how would you know to move to the next step? She said, Sean. So what would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want it put on his body in the next room. Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his nipples.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Did you want to do that? No. How would you feel? I was an object being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime. He would usually be right beside her during the freak-off sessions, but if he wasn't in the room, he would watch over FaceTime, she says. Within the first few years...
Melissa, I don't think nobody could see what you put, but I could see it. You heard it right, on his nipples. Okay? Oh, my God. Woo! Lord, Here we go.
Of the encounters, he began recording the freak-offs. Ventura says she often asked for them to be deleted or she deleted them herself. I never wanted anyone to see me like this. The prosecution is painting the picture that Diddy was definitely in control of the freak-offs. They're saying that if the escorts ended up getting them a little earlier than Diddy directed them to, they ended up getting paid less. They asked Cassie, did you ever leave before the freak-off was over? She said yes, at the Century City Intercontinental. I finally had a premiere coming up and I didn't want to mess up, but Sean hit me. At what point did Sean hit you? Between sessions. So Cassie is talking about a time in her life where Sean Combs assaulted her in the hotel hallway in March of 2016. We've all seen the video. Now, a couple of days before that, she was scheduled to have her first big movie premiere. Combs had sent a text message that she interpreted as wanting a freak off. As damage control, she says, she told him that she would do it. If I please him with a freak off, she says, then my premiere would run smoothly. Now, an escort named Jules was there, she said, and the beating by Combs during the freak off gave her a black eye. At this point, all I could think about was getting out of there safely. I had my premiere and I didn't want to mess it up. So she's now watching the video. Now, as you know, the defense fought hard to get this surveillance video thrown out of court and not shown to the jury during the trial. However, it was published by CNN last year, and the defense argued that it was presented out of order, it was sped up, a judge denied their request, and before playing it to the jury, the prosecution had the video slowed down. But they're still watching. So the prosecution asked Cassie, what happens next? She said, I got to the elevator. Next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground. Who threw you down? Sean. He grabbed me by my neck and my hoodie. Let me show you the video, says the prosecution. What are you doing here? Trying to use the hotel phone. What is Sean doing? Taking my phone and my bag. The judge says we'll break for the day. Oh, this was a lie. I honestly have nothing left.
Y'all, shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Sister had dropped that hammer. Shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Oh my gosh, she did a wonderful job on this day 2 trial. Now, we not going to do all the time Diddy, but we going to jump into Diddy once in a while. We ain't going to do all the time Diddy, but man, y'all, listen. Now you see why, okay? Now you see why that Diddy was like, y'all not just going to take me like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you see why Diddy did what he did. Because he like, y'all not just going to take me down. Y'all not just going to take me down when y'all was a part of some of this foolery. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I would sing like a canary. Sing like a canary. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Sing like a canary. Okay? Now, before we go, I enjoyed my time with y'all. 2 hours and 22 minutes. I enjoyed my time with y'all. Thank you to everybody who showed up for my channel this morning. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for just being here, the views as well. Okay? Now, if you like the content, because it's 64 y'all in here, if you like the content, donate to the channel. Okay? Donate to the channel if you like the content. You said, did it jump? Take heed. No, you know what? I don't know if it jumped because it's raining over here in Jersey. So my, me going out and doing this live might be, it might mess up. But I don't see any jump yet though. So anyway, check this out, y'all. Thank you to everybody who came. I appreciate y'all. If you got time, donate to the content. You could do Cash App, Venmo, Super Chat as well. The Venmo and Super Chat Super Chat is here right now. Venmo and Cash App is in my bio. If you want to go to my bio on my YouTube page, you will see it, okay? Also, if you want to shop with us, our family business is called UB and Rex, fashion.com, Mercari, POSHMARK, eBay is in the links as well. We sell on those platforms, okay? Listen, same day we ship out. Also, if you want to buy merch from my YouTube channel, scroll to the top of the page, you will see shop or store. They got hoodies, shirts, mugs, water bottles, baby clothes, all that good stuff, okay? Before we go, thank you to everybody who came rock with me. I appreciate y'all. Before we go, I want to share something with y'all about something that I had learned, and I should have learned this a long time ago, but I didn't know. And you don't learn things until you start asking questions. You know what I'm saying? But did you know the Catholic, not Catholic, but the Christian religion and Catholic too, we gonna mix it together. Okay. All these different denominations, and I know we jumping on another subject, but all these different denominations, okay, only happened because somebody got mad with one denomination. Check this out right here.
Luther didn't like the Catholic Church and founded the Lutheran Church. Calvin didn't like the Lutheran Church and founded the Reformed or Calvinist Church. Henry VIII didn't like being denied Catholic marriage and founded the Anglican Church. John Smith disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Baptist Church. William Miller didn't like the Baptist Church and founded the Adventist. Ellen G. White really liked William Miller said and founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Charles T. Russell didn't like the Adventist Church and founded Jehovah's Witnesses. Joseph Smith disliked the Methodist Church and founded the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. John Wesley disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Methodist Church. Some pastors didn't like the Methodist Church and founded the Pentecostal Church. Many did not like the Pentecostal Church and founded thousands of churches like Stop Suffering, Assemblies of God, Light of the World, etc. The evangelical movement came from the Baptist Church, while the different born-again movement came from the evangelical churches. The born-again faith emerged in the late 1930s from the U.S., and it gained popularity in the 1970s and 1980s, its golden age. There are now 35,000 different so-called Christian religions who claims their interpretation of the Bible is the right. Martin Luther didn't...
That's nasty. So all these different denominations is because somebody didn't like the teaching in one, and so they went and did their own. Ain't that crazy? Anyway, y'all, take heed to the message, everybody. Much love to you all. Y'all be safe out here. And if you in Jersey, be careful because the weather is nasty out here. You hear me? I'm staying in the house today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, it looked like cat and dogs coming down out here. I got to go, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? I'll see y'all tomorrow, God willing, okay? And we out of here. We are out of here, honey. We out of here, baby. Oh, my God. Listen, we out of here. I got to go. Let me see what we going to put out when we go. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go.
Mama used to be a hoe, now she goes to Costco. There's so much about her that you don't know. She's partied all night, she's been done low. How'd you think she's now?